Welcome back to Be Rich. And my good friend Adira is here to continue our chat which we finished yesterday.
Okay, so I would like to know what do you think about poverty?
Poverty is the greatest curse. To come out of poverty is a phenomenal achievement because when you are very poor, you are always thinking of immediate gratification. You are thinking of the next meal. You don't have the luxury of time to think. You don't have the luxury to learn. So it takes a lot of effort, lot of determination to be able to go through poverty, go through education when you are poor, and then make the transition to becoming a lower middle class or middle class family.
Do you think it's one's choice to remain there?
No, no, I wouldn't say that. It all practically it requires what resources you have, whether somebody who is guiding you. Today, most of us are literate. The first step to getting rid of poverty is to be literate. You should be able to read, write, and do basic maths. That itself, most of us don't do. Once you do that, if you empower the lady of the house with some resources, she will be able to come out. This is systemic, endemic poverty what we have in our country. The poverty you are talking is people take undue risks.
Hmm.
They practically gamble and they blow everything they have and get
Because most
poor.
of our Indian families have, people who are in the poverty line, the men in the families are like they are drug addicts
That
and
that problem is comes from lack of access to education and resources. The other thing is somebody like Anil Ambani, who is born wealthy, who has blown everything and has come to this stage in life.
so does poverty cause crime?
Of course, poverty does it cross crime. We know that people who have even passed engineering because they have not got proper jobs have taken to chain snatching and other things. And once they do chain snatching and get away with it, if you do something wrong and you get away with it, you want to become a repeat offender.
Should countries send troops to foreign countries to fight terrorism, or should governments fight poverty around the world?
See, this is a very difficult question to answer. We should not go and interfere in third countries.
Matters.
India has done in the past to meet with great grief for ourselves. So I don't think that we should meddle with other countries' affairs, and we should work on creating an equal and just society, creating equal access to people. Like in Tamil Nadu, what we have done is by the great Kamaraj providing a village, every school, every village had a school,
Midday meal.
and then he introduced the midday meal scheme. Governments after that have continued with it. Today, only about 10% of Tamils are poor. Really poor is only about 10%. So, it is by education and equal access to resources that we have managed this.
Okay. So, have you ever talked to a homeless person?
No, unfortunately, I have not. But there are plenty of homeless people. When you go into the city of Madras, you find a lot of people sleeping on the beach and other places. If there is proper shelter, they won't be doing that. Obviously, the shelter they have, they don't feel like sleeping there, so they come out and sleep in the open beach. And people near the old northern parts of Madras, people lie on the streets, is basically because they don't have a proper accommodation. The other reason is the accommodation they can afford is very far off from the place they work. So it does not make sense for them to travel such a long distance to work. Complete eradication of homelessness and poverty is impossible. That's an utopian dream. But what we can do is we can reduce it significantly.
Okay. So, what does generational poverty mean?
Generational poverty means that generations after people continue to remain poor, they do not, one generation has to lift the family out of poverty. If it doesn't happen in generations, it becomes a generational poverty.
Okay. How can poverty be reduced in future in India? What do you think?
In India, I believe that there has to be an element of universal basic income. Everybody is not going to be employed. So, to 70% of India gets ration. I think a certain amount of money needs to be transferred to them. But the challenge is who needs it. We don't know who deserves it and who does not deserve it. If I ask, do you deserve it? Everybody is going to say, no, we deserve it. So, what is the criteria? How to fix it? is something I don't know. I have no idea. Some people deserve it, some people don't deserve it. So we do not know who deserves it and who does not deserve it. Like Kerala, practically nobody deserves it. In Tamil Nadu, about 5 to 10% of the population maybe deserve it. I don't think so. Maybe 2-3% deserve it. You go to UP, 25% will deserve it. So in a country like India, then Tamil Nadu and Kerala will protest that UP is getting more
Mm.
resources. So these are very difficult questions to answer, but yes, that is the solution.
Okay. Do you believe that the rich are growing richer and the poor is getting
Yes, of
poorer?
course, the rich have got extremely wealthy in the last 2 years. The poor have got extremely poor. There is no doubt about that because first thing normally a person who gets to middle class, the first thing he buys is a scooter or a motorcycle. Number of motorcycles sold have gone back 10 years. Number of scooters sold has gone back 10 years. That clearly shows that not enough people are making it from rich to the poor. And this pandemic has made sure lot of people who are middle class have slipped into poverty.
Do you think the people on the streets are necessarily lazy? Shouldn't all people work for a living?
There are a lot of people who want to work for a living. Whether we are able to give them the work that they can do is something society should answer. So, yes, every society has about certain number of people who don't want to do work, who cannot be employed. This is called as NAIRU, natural rate of unemployment. But India's unemployment figures are much higher than the NAIRU rate. People who want to work don't have work. People who want to offer jobs don't get jobs. You are, we are a good example. Our company, we want to employ people, but we don't get the people. So there is a mismatch between availability of talent and the jobs available.
Okay. What do you think one should do if they get made like fun of, like they're poor and all that? So how do you think? What do you like tell
Well,
them?
acceptance is something like that. I get ridiculed by being fat and clumsy, but that's part of life. So learning to accept things is the first step forward.
If
So
someone
if you
gets
are
really
really
offended.
poor,
Mhm.
so you accept that you are poor. So what is wrong in being poor?
Mhm.
Like the great Soros said, you are born poor, but you should be worried only when you die poor.
Mhm.
So if you're not going to die poor, why should we worry if somebody makes fun of you?
Okay, that's nice.
You should take it in your stride.
Thank you so much, Sajivan.
So
Today's session was really good.
thank you. And for the last 2 days, I've been discussing personal questions on this. Next time, we will discuss more finance related questions. Thank you for watching. Be rich.
Thank you.
It's a great privilege and honor that so many of you in thousands have subscribed to my channel and have supported me. I have written 2 books in English, The Alchemy of Money and Ordinary Stocks, Extraordinary Profits. These books are published by us and are ready. If you want to procure a copy, send us a message to the WhatsApp number given below and my team would respond to you. If you want an Amazon Kindle copy, you can click the link below. Finally, those who wish to consult with me can send a mail to berichenglish@gmail.com. Once again, I thank you for your support.
For hot financial news reviews and economical updates, watch Be Rich. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe our channel.